Hello, everybody, and welcome to Squad Live. So glad to have you. So glad to be back. Today, we are talking all about the Heroes update. We posted a couple days ago on socials, and we wanted to get your questions from the community and your concerns about the update in order to hopefully answer as many of them as possible and help understand what we're thinking.
Yeah, I guess I can give some context for those of you who maybe haven't played the update or haven't been on social media lately. So basically we updated the game a week ago with what it had to be our April update, but then got postponed to May. And we brought Heroes, which is a new character rarity that, you know, has some powers, it brings a bit more agency to the players, and it actually changes the game quite a lot. Which it was a surprise for many of our players, and that kind of like created, you know, a lot of opinions. And now we're here to, you know, to answer the questions about the changes, why we changed it, what's the plan from here onwards, and so on. So maybe we can go through the questions,
Sure.
And hopefully that answers all your you know, questions and doubts.
Yes, and for those of you in the chat, feel free at any point if you wanted to go back and check if we've answered any of the questions. So, you know, repeat questions come up in the chat or whatever, check it in the stream and you should see, hopefully, that we answered it. We tried to gather as many of the most common questions.
Yeah, and we will also summarize this stream into an in-game article later in the week. So yeah, if you miss part of this stream, don't worry.
Okay, shall we? Let's get into
Let's
it.
go.
Question number 1 is from Alexander, and he says, the game was totally fun before. The only thing you guys had to do is add more maps, characters, and events.
It's funny because this is not a question, as you can see, but it is the top like comment or the top concern that people have is that, you know, we get this a lot, right? The game was enough. We just needed more content. We just needed more characters. But the reality is that even though we know adding new maps, adding new walls and adding new characters was making the game more fun, because the game was more fun when there were, you know, new events and stuff. What we've seen is that, so from global launch until end of 2024, we've been adding new walls, new characters, and the reality is that we still saw that like players were sticking less and less to the game. So even though, you know, even though people were enjoying the new characters for a while, then they were just leaving anyway. So we saw that just adding new characters and new worlds in the way that we were doing, it wasn't really working in the way that we would have liked. That's why this update wasn't just about adding stuff on top of like what we had in Squad 1.0, but, you know, reworking the foundation so we can now have a game that doesn't only have these like spikes of fun when we release new content, but is actually sustainable in the long term as well.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Actually, the update, I'm gonna do something because has been super like helpful for me to understand my own thoughts. And so old Squad had this kind of like base, right? It's not like perfect. I think we froze. No, did we freeze?
Are we frozen, chat?
I think so.
It looks like it, right? Weird.
Good moment to freeze.
What even is that?
I think we can, I don't know, what is that? No, don't
Let me
stop.
check
But
this.
like,
Hold on a second. Yeah.
just disable the camera and enable the camera again.
Okay.
Properties. And yeah, we're back. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's so you could check my drawing
Jeez.
for like 5 minutes. Well, so basically what we were doing is this was the foundation of the game, and we were, you know, adding things on top in a way that like it was kind of like not super stable and everything could fall at some point. Now with this, what we are doing with this update is actually like this base, like making something that is like stable. We know we are not there yet because there are many things we need to change, but like hopefully this will give us, you know, a more like future-proof structure to build on top, so that the whole structure, which is our game, doesn't fall. This is a small thing, but like it really helped me like understand why we changed the game so much, because of course it's been a big change for all of us, including ourselves.
For sure, for sure. Well said. Okay, question number 2 is from Truett Munoz. Can we revert back to the old game?
Yeah, we get that one a lot as well, and it's similar to the previous one, but we wanted to make sure that we reply to this, because that's not something that is in the plan. I know it's hard to take in so much change, especially because it happened like so fast as well. And also I loved Squad 1.0 as well. I was playing a lot, and I miss certain things, but at the same time I'm having so much fun with the new game as well. And the reality is that sticking with the old version or going back to the old version, like it wasn't working at that scale. So we found that like we couldn't scale the game much more if we continue doing the things in the way that we were doing, and then the game could not be sustainable in the long term, because a game that is not scalable is not sustainable. And then it was either making these changes or watching the game, shrinking and shrinking until basically we couldn't sustain developing it anymore. So yeah, it is hard to understand, hard to explain even, because especially if you really loved Squad as it was before, but I think you need to trust, the team and the decision, and that we are doing this for the future of the game, and to be able to have a game that is, big and successful.
Yeah, and to add to that, this is only the foundation. So this is like the beginning, like what she drew, the first block that we're going to build upon that's more stable.
Yeah.
So there's much more to come, we hope, that will add to it and make it even more compelling.
Yeah.
Next question is from @BoomyU50. Are you planning to make a classic mode where you can go play Squad Busters as the same version it was back in the 1.0?
Very related as well.
Yeah.
I mean, never say never, right? But like the reality is that right now the focus is like 100% making Squad 2.0 the same, like as fun or even more fun than Squad 1.0. And for that, we really need to focus on, working on this new foundation, and like building on top, and really like pay attention to all those things that players are missing from the old version, and why, and then bring them back in a new form probably, and in a way that is compatible with the new version of the game. So classic mode is not something that you will see, in the next update, or in the, we know maybe in the future, that would be something fun, but like it comes with so many like challenges and like even like technical stuff that like it's really hard to do. But we'll make sure to, to bring, at least to take the experience and the things that were so fun from that old version that maybe for some of you have been like lost a bit, and like make sure that the new version is also as fun.
Yes. This next question is from FireGator8540. Why did you decide to make Turbo a limited resource? Secondly, why did you remove the ability to use Turbo to increase attack speed?
So there are a few reasons why Turbo has changed, and so one of them is that now with the addition of powers, so now heroes and squaddies, they have powers you need to trigger during the battle. So Turbo in the end is another button that you need to like constantly be pressing if we kept the how it worked before, because before Turbo was boosting your attack as well. Which also was something that not all the players understood. So it was a bit confusing for many players. But also like, it was kind of like to free your, your thumb. So you don't need to either like be, or even like make a decision of like, do I attack or do I like boost my attack, my auto attack? Because auto attack while moving also was not a thing before. So with this change also, it becomes more clear the role of the boost, so of the what's the word?
Turbo?
The turbo, yeah, thanks. And now you can, so the turbo has its own like functionality, which is you stop attacking, because as soon as you run, you stop attacking. And then you can, you know, move faster and run away. And then let me see, because I took some notes from our designer.
Yeah, that's one of the things that when I first joined the team, I noticed like some things to me as a new joiner seemed very obvious. Like, why don't we do this? Like, this seems to make perfect sense. And then speaking to the game devs, they would be like, well, you have this to consider and this to consider and that, and all these pieces that one little decision affects. So like these things have been very thoroughly thought through. Yeah,
and one thing that I didn't mention is that changing turbo also gave a massive opportunity to give more like weight on like to squaddies and heroes to, you know, to upgrade the boost, and then it's another like a whole new like progression that before it wasn't there.
That's true. Yeah. Next question is from Flying Smart 1. It says, will the old modifiers that got removed rotate back or not?
It's similar to the classic mode, right? It's not as easy as just like bringing back what's gone. The reason why we removed some modifiers, and I think we should have explained that a bit, you know, a bit more in the update video probably, and give more context. But basically, so we removed some of them because they were basically not fun for the majority of our players. That's the reality, like, you know, timeout or and or loot machines. Yeah. Like many people didn't enjoy those, and like we tried to like tweak them and making them more fun, but like it didn't really stick. And then others that we removed, like, you know, a player favorite, Double Trouble, was because with the new gameplay they became basically incompatible. So and then what we're gonna do now is to a bit similar to what I said with the classic modes, just explore, okay, what was fun about those modes and how we can bring back that experience in a way that is compatible with a new game and with a new, for example, fusion system and so on. But like, I wouldn't expect, you know, the modes just to come back, because they need to be reworked for sure, because they don't work anymore with how the game works now. But yeah, that would be my answer.
Nice. Next question is from Francesco something. I have so many extra copies of Squaddies there that have been blocked at most. Will they be reimbursed like the others?
Yeah, so basically when we change the progression, and especially when we change, you know, how many babies you need to upgrade your characters to evolve them, basically, most of the things were compensated. So many people got like many babies that went to characters, but it's true that for some players who actually maxed some characters from this compensation, then they ended up with some like unused characters that are there that you cannot merge or do anything with them. And the reality is that we don't have like a straightforward solution for that right now. Some of those leftovers will be useful for you when we release new ultimates, because then you will be able to merge them, and like, you know, they will work towards like, you know, the new ultimate. But for the characters that already have an ultimate, we need to figure out what would be the most, you know, the most fair and balanced way to deal with that. So we will keep looking into it, and like for now they are there. You're not gonna lose them, but yeah, we'll figure out something.
Yeah, totally. And I've noticed that since 2.0 dropped, that I'm getting a lot more star chests as is. So that conversion that you would have gotten from those, you know, babies or whatever the case, you will eventually get that once the new ultimates drop.
Yeah.
So. Next question is from Clockwork Samurai. Will you please do something regarding Bee's Swarm Circle? Those bothersome buzzers are becoming a blight on casual players.
Yeah, and the different thing about balance is that we are like fully aware that like this update requires more frequent balance changes, because until now we've only done balance changes when an update dropped. So the team, they are working on the first like round of balance changes. Bees are in the radar as is the fireball.
Fireball, yeah.
I don't know. I was thinking Powerball, the fireball, and then we're also looking into buffing some of the underused powers, to make everything a bit more balanced. And there are some changes that will need to wait until the June update. And other changes like we did with the speed, for example, or like the health for the squaddies. That's something we can do on the fly, but some of the things just need a bit more time for like changing it, testing it, and so on. And then there was something that I actually heard about it today, that like the team were actually exploring some sort of like shield mechanics as well. So I don't know, let's see.
New features may be incoming.
Yeah.
Next question is from Israel Holt 4965. So, when will you have animations for all the characters? I love the animations on the heroes, especially their faces.
Yeah, they look so good.
They do look
Sometimes
really
I'm
good.
just like staring at my hero in the plaza, like, oh, he's
So
blinking.
fancy.
Yeah. The reality is that right now our artists are focusing more on the heroes and like and other content, and not so much in the squaddies when it comes to like face animation. And the main reason is because if you think of it, if we had to rework all the textures for all the characters, that would mean that for each character they would need to prepare a new set of animations for like all the evolutions. So like and it's a lot of work that right now like it feels like a bit like unreasonable. But at some point I hope we do that, because they look so much better and they have so much so much more personality.
Yeah.
But for now, just to set the expectations, heroes will have animated faces, but not squaddies.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
We'll see. Next question is from Joan JM. When will more game modes be added, or at least within the current 5v5 or 3v3 modes, for example?
So we are currently prototyping some new game modes. Some of them are more like team-based modes. We're also exploring some PvE ideas, because, for example, Hatchling Run is a mode that people really, really enjoy. But the reality is that we don't have anything right now to share, or I can't say much, because it is an exploration that is just happening as we speak. So I don't want to promise much. And of course, also, when is a bit of a question mark, because developing a full game mode might require longer than one update like cycle. So let's see, but we are on it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know in the chat which game modes you've been playing since the update dropped. For me, I feel like Duos Showdown or Duo Gem Hunt became so much cooler since the update dropped, as well as Showdown. Both of those modes are like
I love playing
more
Duo now,
interesting.
because I feel I can finally control how I help my teammate, It's like, okay, from the distance, like, choo, choo.
Yeah, for sure. Next question is from Ray. He says, will Hatchling Run return during this update cycle?
So Hatchling Run needs some balance tweaks, because, of course, since we added heroes, the balance is completely off. So, and we didn't have time to do it for this update, to be honest, and that's something that we are looking into it, but it will probably not be before the June update. And let's see, hopefully for June we have something. There is also something we've been talking about. We would like to make it a bit more competitive. So not the game itself, like the battle, but like add some sort of like competition layer to it, where like you can see how many, hatchlings other people are getting, and maybe get rewards based on your performance. So, but that's I'm not promising anything. That's some talks about the mode and some wishes. But let's see where we go with that.
Thanks for that question. Next one is from Marcelo. He says, or she says, any plans on making Squad League more interesting, like adding elos and rewards according to your performance?
Yeah, we would love that, and that's something we also talk a lot about, like making Squad League more relevant, more competitive, and having rewards that people can show off a bit their skill. But yeah, right now the focus is more on heroes, on like new content and game modes, and it's not something that is gonna happen like soon, but it is on the horizon. We see it there, but but not right now.
Next question is from Caring Day. Are there any plans to receive hero points more easily? It's pretty hard right now. Great update, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It's just so sweet when we get good positive comments. So yeah, basically this is something I checked with the team today and about the plans on hero points, because it is true that it feels a bit like, you know, you don't get many. It is interesting because now, so a squad, before the update, maxing out a squaddy would take like forever.
Ages.
Forever. Like, I don't know how much, but like, I don't know, maybe a year. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, like, in the way that the hero points economy has been set up, it should take like from 2 to 3 months to max out one hero if you do your, you know, weekly quest, which compared to how hard it was in the past to max a character is not that bad. But still, like, this is something the team are like, you know, monitoring closely, and ultimately we just want the best experience for players. And if it feels too slow or that they're not getting enough, of course, like, that's something that we'll continue tweaking. And also we're gonna have some events that give more hero points. The Mortis event is at the end of the week. That will come with some hero points too. So yeah, that's something that, you know, slowly we will be monitoring and like and changing when needed. So yes, long story short.
Next question is from Kwandal. Will more regular characters become heroes?
That's a good question. So the plan, or like the focus right now for new heroes, is to bring new characters and not so much, you know, promoting existing squaddies to hero. I have to say too that if there is, you know, a lot of interest in making a certain character a hero at some point, if we see that,
Somebody said Dr. T hero.
Okay, Dr. T could be. But it could happen, yeah, it could happen. We're not, you know, it is open, but like our preference is bringing in new characters instead.
Next question is from Hyper SCP. Now that the gameplay is good, will we have news for a possible esports?
Yes. I mean, that's not my answer, but like, yes. But I would love to see Squad joining, you know, the esports like scene. That's something that we are aware that for that to happen properly, we need to build certain tools that the game doesn't have yet. And, you know, social features, you know, reworking some of the social features, I think is a must for us to be successful as an esports game. Right now is not the focus, because we're still working on this, you know, what I explained earlier, this foundation. And once we figure out that and we feel ready to, like, you know, keep like evolving it, I think esports is super fair to think that esports could become a thing if people are interested.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Let's see, moving on to the next question. Oh. Bear with us, we're having some tech issues. Let's see. Up. I think we were... Okay, here we are.
Can we buy more to after piñata? Yes.
Oh. So, okay, we've got the esports question, and next is from Rafi. He says, how do you feel about the future of the game, and are you working on the community's feedback?
It's funny because this comment, I have it here somewhere, because he also said, what was it? Yeah, he said, I honestly love the latest update, and it really got me hooked to the game in my free time. And I was thinking how sweet it is to get some like, positive comments as well. It's been pretty intimidating for those of you who have actually, you know, genuinely enjoyed the update. I can see it's been quite intimidating to go to, you know, social media and share that, because there is a lot of confusion, there is a lot of, you know, like questions. So we truly appreciate when you take the time, you know, to actually write some like constructive feedback or like positive comments. And I just had to say that. And but about the feedback, I mean, this AMA is the first kind of like step, at least for us, to like, you know, gather questions, trying to address the feedback, and especially trying to make the transition from Squad 1.0 to Squad 2.0 smoother, because there is no like going back as, you know, like that. It's like, and it's gonna be a process. So we also see that like Squad 2.0 is not perfect, and like that needs some tweakings, needs some, you know, it needs some like updates on top of it. And of course those we are preparing with all this feedback in mind. And then as we were saying, we're keeping you know, an eye on sentiment as well. Like some things, as I said earlier, like HP or like speed boost, that, you know, it didn't feel great for some people, for the majority of people when we updated the game. We can change in the fly, and then all those things that we can react fast, we will, to fix or to change, we will. But some other things just we need to wait to for future updates. Yes, and that's my answer, I think.
Yeah, I think for my part of it, the game has so much potential. Like, as a person who played before, like way early on, I've seen the old game, I've seen the new game, and of course I'm a little biased being on the team, but I was genuinely like, there were moments in the development of the 2.0 update where I was like, oh, I don't know about this. It doesn't feel right. And then over time, as things kept getting tweaked and like little things got improved, it was like, wow, this is going to be a really amazing beginning for something more incredible to come. So I feel like the future of the game is super bright. Like if you guys can hang on and stick with us, I think the future of the game has a lot of hope.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning that, you know, we have said a few times that, like, you know, bear with us, we are on it, and like all those times was just true. Was like from the biggest like honesty.
Yeah.
It's like we've been trying, and you know, sometimes like people think a bit, and like changing things is necessary, and yeah, but it's just like really cool to see how many people have been like, you know, supporting us, and like because it is not easy. Like, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So but we are confident that we can make it work.
Yeah.
And the team are super excited as well. And so let's see where we go from here.
Yeah. And by the way, I saw some comments in the chat saying that these these handles and these comments were fake. They absolutely
really?
Are not. Like,
No.
we went through only the comments. We
Yeah.
would never inject our own like thoughts into this to
No, these people are real.
These are real human beings. So
and basically what we did is to get, because, you know, the questions were like almost the same everywhere, like, but, you know, with different words and stuff, but like the things that people are like asking the most are just, yeah, what we grouped kind of, but like, yeah, these are real, and like in their own words also.
yeah, exactly. And our final question is from, I think, one of our good buddies. Is this Stormy, or is this a
Stormy.
different from Stormy? Shout out to Stormy. Can you give us a vague overview of what's to come in the rest of the year?
Yeah, he got a good point, right? That our roadmap that we shared ended with the Heroes update. So after that, we never shared anything, and so we worked on a roadmap before releasing the Heroes update, and of course, like I'm gonna mention some of the things that roadmap for the rest of the year included, but then you need to hear the other part, okay? So some of the things were like new heroes and squaddies. We're planning to release like 5 to 10 in total, so squaddies and heroes. New game modes, modifiers. We were also thinking of reworking the world journey, because right now it's pretty like linear, and like with the new changes, there's things we can do there. We had one new world planned, and then we really wanted to work on social features as well as squad league, and also working on more co-op modes. Now, to be completely, fully like transparent, now we've released, so this roadmap, or this, like features were like, it was made before we released this update. So now we need to look back at the roadmap and see, okay, from all the feedback we're getting, and what we're seeing that is working and is not, we need to like kind of like reprioritize certain things, and most like, especially we need to address some of the feedback first, so we can again build a foundation that, you know, is like solid enough for us to keep adding all these things, you know, like walls, like game modes and stuff. So we really need to work on that. It's square, cube.
Yeah, and that's a big task. That's not,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That takes a lot, but hopefully we answered some of your questions. If you want to go back and do an overview of everything that we said in game, we're going to have an article, an FAQ, where we answer all of these things once again, and you can read through it and see it clearly. But thanks for answering all the questions, Fala.
Yeah, what time is it? That was pretty fast, right?
Yeah, it's 33.
Okay.
Still relatively early.
Yeah, I can answer. I've seen questions about new heroes, if we're expecting new heroes, and that the answer is yes. And that, yeah, in June. So June update is still there, and yeah, new hero will come in June. So
do you want to take any more, just a couple minutes of questions from the chat?
we could try. The chat is going a bit fast, but like
Somebody
we could
asked about
try.
Moko characters. Are we going to add any Moko characters to the game?
Would you like some Moko characters?
Yeah, I'm curious to know, chat. Like, I've seen that quite a bit. Would you like some Moko characters added to the game? Because that would be pretty fun. I've played some Moko myself, and it's like...
Luna would be nice too. I wonder if she
yeah.
would be a hero.
Imagine the cat that they have in the little...
Oh yeah, the
It's just adding the
squatty.
cat.
Yeah, no, the Luna would be the hero, and the cat would be a squatty.
It's not a bad idea.
I like that.
A lot of yeses. A lot
Yeah.
of yeses in the chat.
What else?
Let's see. We'll try to slow it down. Masteries and ranks. Will you drop new lore every update?
We'll see. Maybe.
Maybe. I personally am a big fan of the lore, and if there's anything I can do about it, I will do something to make that happen.
Yeah, we're having
but-
a lot of fun with the lore and like developing it and like showing a bit more of the squad world. So yeah, probably.
Yes, indeed.
And someone asked actually before, and I've seen it now again, about Mortis, if he's going to be available to buy after the event, and the answer is yes. I'm not sure how soon after the event. I'm not sure if it's going to be like immediately available, like, you know, after the event. But yeah, this is a good reminder for you that, you know, starting on Friday, we're going to have the event, and you can get Mortis through piñatas.
Yeah. I'm saving hero points, personally.
Yeah,
I've been collecting every day my hero points, and once Mortis drops, like, I'm an AQ main. I main Archer Queen, but once Mortis drops, I think I might switch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm only buying the power like upgrades for each hero, and then saving the rest because I'm still not sure if I want to focus on one or like spread it out.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for submitting the questions. We always want to be as transparent with you as possible, so we'll do as many of these as we need for you to get all of your answers.
Yes, and we will summarize all these answers in case because I had some notes. I'm sure I forgot some things that I wanted to say and I didn't. So we'll summarize all the answers and put them in the game so you can read it.
Cool. Well, thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.